Welcome to the UDP broadcast, a podcast where a group of friends get together and offer both informed and uninformed opinions about gaming-related topics. I'm Luminary, and I'm accompanied today by my hosts, the Nordic Cajun.
I want to be shiny.
The Eternal Barcode, Imee.
Hello, how's it going?
And from the Emerald Dream, Reina the Crit Chicken.
I'm awake. Bakak.
Woo.
Awake is good. There we go. Today we've got a good show. Oh, what?
Oh, I was gonna say, what's on the agenda for tonight?
What's on the agenda for tonight? Well, I had to dig deep, but we found a lot of good world events coming up. Tonight's topics are going to be laws, gems, and orcs.
Oktar.
Ogar. Zog zog. Blood and thunder.
Ah!
Open RPG creative license. Oh wait, different orcs.
Them's the orcs we do like.
Playing 40k mushroom orcs. They're kind of cute and adorable. We'll get into lore, Warhammer 40k lore later, but essentially the orcs in that series are all mushroom spores.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's right. If they invade a world, you just can't get rid of them unless you scorch the earth.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty much it. Because when one dies, it spreads its spores everywhere, and they grow in
Well,
the
no,
ground.
they have giant mushrooms that grow them, but they work on the premise of I think this is something, therefore it is. So if you hand them a pile of rocks, they can literally sit there and be like, I think this is a tank, and oh my god, you have a tank made of rock.
Orc technology has always been amazing.
You just call it warp fuckery, and then everything makes sense.
Well,
yes. Shall we?
Yes, we shall. Laws. So there's been a lot of things going on in the world with regards to the gaming industry, and the most interesting and probably the most robust right now is what the EU is doing as far as regulation and deciding how the games industry can do what they do. Right. There was a vote to adopt a report calling for the European Commission to address issues in the gaming industry to better protect consumers. And a lot of things were included in there, like better verbiage for the PEGI rating system. There was a call for harmonized rules across all of Europe as a single market for the games industry. And a call for devs to really monitor what they're doing with what they're developing, because the World Health Organization recognizes gaming disorder, which I didn't know, by the way, till today.
Did you know there's actual Nintendo thumb or a Nintendo wrist?
Yes, that I've heard of. From the old school controllers, yes.
Yep, and even just newer stuff. No, constant gaming is considered an addiction. And it is now treated similar in style to any other addiction, whether it's a nicotine addiction, whether that's an alcohol addiction, through different types of therapy. But yeah, gaming is hugely addictive for some people, because I can remember and I can pull up at least half a dozen articles of people going to internet cafes to play video games with young children, usually newborns, and the newborn tends to starve to death, which is unfortunate because the parents will just play for 30, 40 hours in a row.
I've heard of multiple stories like that as well. And not even internet cafes. It could be right in the home too.
Yep. Yeah, internet. I used to go to school with somebody who went basically 6 months between jobs, because for that 6 months all they were doing was just playing WoW.
Now, hey, there's some of the parents like me that used to be able to multitask when I was reading.
This person was unemployed, out of school, not looking for a job, not doing anything but playing WoW.
Hun.
They were purely addicted.
For me, back in the day, it was an addiction. Well, now it turned into addiction. But still, I was unemployed. I was raising a baby. You know my scenario. I'm not going to go into my backstory.
I'm not talking about you at all. I'm talking about somebody I went to college with.
Oh, I'm just saying, there's people like me that I was doing the whole rating next RMS while having a bot be on my lap, breastfeeding my kid. I could
Yeah,
do it
but see,
all.
you're parenting. See, you're still doing something. You're parenting.
Yeah, you're
This guy
still
would lit-
you're still being a respectable and actual responsible adult, even though if you rating or not, the kid's getting fed. So
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not like I had
I
a
went over
webcam. Not like I had a webcam on while I'm freaking in the middle of
Yeah.
a pug and be like, "Hey, people, I'm whipping out my ditty." No,
like for
that was
me,
that
I
was
would go
that's an
over to
OnlyFans subject somewhere.
oh my god, like I would go over to my buddy's house and we were supposed to like go for coffee or drinks or whatever, and he'd answer the door in just a t-shirt and boxers. And it's like, what? He's like, oh yeah, I haven't got dressed yet. I'm like, okay, well we're supposed to be going for drinks. Oh yeah, well just I'm just finishing up whatever the fuck you'd be doing. And I didn't play WoW at the time. And I was like, holy shit, dude, do you do anything else? Like, no, I play this about 15, 16 hours a day. I'm like, oh my Christ, what the hell?
It's the case in point of anything. Like anything could be bad for if you have too much of it.
Oh yeah,
Even drinking too much water is bad for you. Like you have to, as a human, you have to learn how to stop yourself. And unfortunately, in this day and age, when nobody, I'm not talking about anybody at all. This is a general statement. Gaming has become a coping mechanism for a lot of people.
oh yeah, it always has been. So is gambling. Like, there's a lot of escapism out there. Video games get the most focus because boomers don't understand them the most.
Well,
Like, if
boomer,
you remember the early 2000s with that stupid lawyer in the States, like every second day of the week, it was like, I'm suing because of, whatever made up excuse there was. Like, I don't know. I think we need to start really. I'm glad they're looking at addressing it because gaming addiction is massively rampant in a lot of places and for a lot of people, and it really, really needs to be addressed.
absolutely.
Especially when it comes like part of what's going on with that EU stuff is they were looking at having annual reports as to the impact that these games would have on kids. And that is something that needs to be taken into account because kids will just play, all day long if they're allowed to. And speaking from experience, and that can be a bit of a problem, especially if they're suffering academically, if they're suffering socially or whatever. That's something that has to be addressed. There was that one. There was I know previously, and I'm hoping it's buried in that legislation. I know previously the EU have been looking at forcing game companies to display the odds of winning certain prizes for like top end skins and stuff like that. You had to actually display what the chances were of winning that thing because loot boxes are nothing more than glorified gambling. Whether or not game companies want to admit to that, I don't care because it really just is gambling. And at least knowing the odds of a win gives you a little bit better sense of, what you're doing and how much you're spending.
And it's literally just the modern day pack of cards. It's the modern day Pokemon cards, baseball cards.
VLT.
It's the same thing. It's a different package. It's the same as I
Yep.
think, but the difference is it's much more accessible to
Yes.
anyone than it is for somebody to be able to have to go to store, buy the pack of cards, bring it home, and open it up. You can just sit down and accidentally have your kid hit the wrong button, and all of a sudden, oh no, I spent $200 on loot boxes.
Oh yeah, and like look at how much what is it? Kids spend with stuff like Roblox and CS:GO skins and stuff like that. At least this way
Roblox.
you'll have a better idea as to how much you're wasting.
As a father with a 6-year-old who loves to try to trick his mom into getting Roblox all the time, I can attest to that. Like
Yep.
she'll be sitting there, and he's smart. Yeah, she'll be sitting there, and her arm will just be resting at the side. Her iPad is fingerprint activated when it comes to the iPad store.
Where this is going.
I kid you not. She'll be on the phone, and if she's not paying attention, and if she is paying attention, he'll tata her and baby her and kiss on her hand, and then he'll show her something, and without thinking, she'll hit it. One time though, this bugger snuck up. Her hand was laying on the side, and he lifted that iPad just enough where her finger hit it. Bought $10 of Roblox.
Oh my god.
Mama was not happy that day.
Hey, Mama, you got the Midas touch.
Oh no.
So I've got teenagers, and I've expressed my absolute detest for Roblox as a company to them, and how much I detest giving them money to feed their engine. And
I'm hoping. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
and they still do it. They don't care. And I think my youngest, he was like, "Yeah, I want to do this," because he got like $50 for Christmas or something like that. And I was like, "Why? You're not even gonna play that game next week."
And that's what I have to tell Harrison all the time. Is like, dude, I know you love this game, but the way you switch games in Roblox alone, you will never see this game again. No, I am not buying those Roblox for you. It's not going to happen.
What
And
bothers me with their whole style is exploitation of programmers.
But it's not even their programmers. It's exploitation
Exactly.
of the
The
community
modding community.
programmers, right?
Yep, and a lot of them are kids, and that's essentially child labor because don't they monetize those mods and shit? Or no?
yeah, well, they monetize not only the mods inside the game, they monetize the things that you create for people to wear as well. So even
Okay.
though it is quote unquote kids doing this, and you might consider it kid labor, the kids are getting paid too. The kids actually make money off
Okay.
of this. The money goes to, if the parents set it up, of course. If they make something and people buy their gear or buy their do their game and buy Roblox for their specific game they create, they get a percentage of whatever people buy. So
Yeah, it
it's
just seems scummy to use kids like that because normally,
well, it's I might have to agree to disagree, just because it allows these kids to start an entrepreneurial idea early. It shows them if I make a product and people like it, I can make money. So if I make something really good and more people buy it, I can make more money. It helps them learn the value, not as much the value of the dollar, but the value of making something that's worth something.
Oh yeah, I'm totally for that. Like if say one of my kids decided I'm going to learn Kotlin and write an Android app, go for it. Do it. I'll support you every step of the way. I'll play test it / beta test it, QA, whatever. Right? I want to encourage that. But Roblox is scummy, and I don't mean like it's
definitely not perfect. I'm 100% agreeing with you. 100% on that.
Like I would probably say okay, do it if like they were getting something out of it, like learning C# or something, right? Instead of just like chasing the dollar, because mind you, you're going to be chasing the dollar for the rest of your life. That's all you're going to be doing, but not chasing the quick dollar. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So, but there's a lot of that in there as far as like what they were talking about with the European legislation. There was also another interesting point in here that they wrote out, which was investigation if gold farming can be linked to financial crimes and human rights abuses. And I can tell you right now, yes.
I think a lot of us remember the gold farming news that broke in China with all the gold farming that was set up, basically being run as slave sweatshops.
Yep.
Oh, with Susan Express or something?
I don't remember what it was, but it was some like you could buy gold before the WoW token came out for cash, and the people who were mining that gold or like acquiring that gold were usually, from the reports I saw and the little bit of news I saw on it, were working in like sweatshop style environments and essentially being coerced or forced into mining WoW gold, and it's like holy shit.
I know with the next topic or whatever, or at least one of the other topics I want to get into, I probably will like have a segue with that or something, but I don't know if you guys want to talk about that today or not.
Talk about what?
Hey,
The stuff that I suggested.
Oh, the 10 cent?
Being 10 cents.
Yeah, because
Oh.
I'm wondering the correlation.
Well,
I'm
hold on. Let me
100
get my crowbar. Let's wedge it in there. Let's do it now.
I'm saying that she's already on board, so let's roll with it.
Let's do
All
it.
right.
Well, let's do some backstory with let's I guess go completely off the rails and go with the what was it, Blizzard exiting China, because that
That's
seems
crazy.
kind of sketch.
That's insane.
Why don't you lead us off?
Oh, with me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, you.
Yeah. So Blizzard decided to exit partnership with their China branch or whatever for whatever reason. I don't know really in depth what happened with their stuff besides, maybe too much censorship or something. But you figure with such a large fan base, especially with how many people that watched the WoW movie, that they would have stayed and not offered just 6 months, which I kind of find interesting because a couple of months ago they offered the people who lived in China a chance to buy the spectral tiger. So now it's like now they have to scatter. Like, I don't even know if they're going to be able to keep that or transfer it or anything like that. But you kind of like do the little carrot on a stick for a last minute thing with the spectral tiger, and then you're like, no, you guys can't play our game anymore. And then there was the outrage, and then they're like, oh, here, you want to extend your partnership for 6 months. 6 months. 6 months. That's it. That's the only thing you could do for us.
It's not even that. The NetEase was like 6 months, and you're telling us you're going to go find someone else. It's like telling someone you're going to divorce them, but hey, you still want all the benefits. Like that was.
They wanted friends with benefits essentially.
Yeah.
While they were breaking up with them.
I would say this topic has been super juicy, but here it's right now it's like definitely spilling the green tea per se. Sorry, Bliss.
I showed that to my wife. She was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like,
that's fantastic.
I mean, but it also segues into our other topic about the orcs and whatnot too, because I'm pretty sure Amy could get a giggle or entertainment about what happened.
Oh my god, they live. So for those of you who don't know, when they left China, Blizzard's partner decided that, hey, since you fucked us over just a wee bit, we're going to maybe by chance live stream the demolition of the NetEase studio. Now, my favorite part is nobody has figured out what's going on with character saves or like the character profiles. All that data, I'm assuming and thinking Blizzard would have either securely erased it all or copied it over their networks back to home turf type thing. But NetEase was so pissed off with how this went down with them, like, oh, hey, we'll give you 6 months, but we're going to look around for someone else to sleep with. They live streamed the entire dismantling of the building and the office inside, and you can see photos of it. It's just like all smashed, just broken glass everywhere. Walls are torn down. Doors don't exist on frames anymore. And then there's a nice video of them out front taking down the Gorehowl statue and just smashing it to pieces while passing out, huge cups of green tea.
Blizzard green tea from the NetEase Cafe.
Yes, it was glorious. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it was green tea. Apparently, in China, is symbolic for someone who is what was it? Ingenuous. I can't speak.
An asshole.
Well,
asshole.
Yeah. the single
Let me
word
help you, Louie,
is
an asshole.
But ingenuously innocent or traditional. So it's one of those things. And I think that whole
basic
thing
bitch is what they were being called.
Like the whole section right there. From Raina giving us a recap what's going on all the way up to where we're at right now. Just, because this does segue into the last topic that we have, which is gyms, but we're not going to get into that just yet. But in order to do anything in China, we actually covered this with China's gaming legislation, how terrible it is to actually get a game released in China. But NetEase was Blizzard's in to the largest gaming market on the planet.
Yes.
All right.
And they fucked it up.
Fucked it up. Right. And not only that, I mean, because it was a 14-year deal, right? It was from 2009 all the way to, I think they renewed in 2019. And now they want to.
They dangled 6 months in front of them and here, you can have 6 more months. Let's get a final couple of dollars from you guys if you really want to play. They're like, no. Yeah. In fact, we're going to rip down everything. Because F you.
Screw you and the orc you came in on.
Blizzard was essentially trying to tell their partner, hey, I want to be a swinger, but I'm the only one who gets to sleep around. You don't.
But my thing is, too, I'm wondering, and going back to the whole 10 cent stuff, I'm wondering if it was Tencent was kind of just like shark in the water, kind of sniffing around for like blood, and amidst all the chaos or whatever, they dropped this game that is a plagiarism of either League of Legends and WoW combined. Because if you go and check the trailers for what is the
I mean,
name
they
of
have Sylvanas.
Terraceland? Yeah,
Something like
freaking
that.
Sylvanas going through the dark portal, pretty much. Yeah, Mr. GM bringing up, hey, this kind of looks like WoW, or this looks familiar, and then Chris Medson's like, huh? So they already got called out for this. So between them dropping this terrace island days after NetEase shuts down WoW and destroys their plays, you have to also look into the bigger picture too. Just I think last month they decided to fire about 100 people, and just 10 people off the bat they contacted the police about, but 100 people altogether. And I think it's kind of odd that they fire all these people and then they're like, haha, we have a game to launch.
It's almost like they fire the designers and the original coders and then just kept on staff to maintain the game because they don't intend on doing much with it other than making money.
Yeah, but once you take a game and you flop it into maintenance mode, you don't need as many developers and asset creators and whatnot. You can pretty much add things instantly, and that's the way WoW did it. That's the way most MMOs, any game studio, like if you ever look at the trend of BioWare, the removal of staff throughout the development cycle of whatever game it is, because once the art assets are done, you don't have any more work for all those artists. Once you have your toolchain developers with a full set of tools developed to develop this game, you don't need all of the developers to maintain the toolchain. And that's just what happens. They're just overhead. And that's unfortunate. 100 people, I think that's pretty good, depending on how many people they had on the project. And MMOs are no small project.
Yeah, they're hundreds of people, easily.
I just think Tencent, I think what they're doing, this is just me putting my 2 cents in about the whole 2 cents, but the whole situation.
10 cents?
They're spreading themselves out thin with all the new games they're coming out with, though. So they were at risk for copying something, but to be completely as close to plagiarism as you guys are alluding to, I haven't seen the trailer myself. I haven't been able to watch it to correlate. I'm coming from the aspect of I'm waiting for their fighting game to come out, and they're trying to push out an MMO on top of still supporting their original game, while still supporting their card game, while still supporting their mobile game, which is a copy of their original game. I'm like, guys, I understand y'all are a gaming company. I understand y'all trying to literally put 12 eggs in every single basket that you see. But it's going to come back and bite you in the ass, and apparently it's finally caught up with them.
Trying to figure out what Warbringer Jalen wants to do. He's like, let me in. Is he one on the podcast? I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Jalen, what would you like?
Because I would love to take the Pop-Tart line in. All he has to do is pop into the lounge channel and I can get him in there.
Bring that furry booty here, boy.
Wow.
Yes, yes, Jalen. Throw in your 2 cents on 10 cents, please.
Come.
Yes. Get over here.
He missed last week because he was having fun with his friends, but yeah, no, if he wants to, if he hops into the lounge, just drag him in, I mean.
Yep.
But yeah, no, like the whole thing, as far as that's concerned, I looked into it. I watched the trailer, which, by the way, Nord, I'll tag you in the thread that Raina was talking about. In fact, it should be the top one. Let's see, did she do host? Or did she do me? So forth and so on. Nope, I'll just tag hosts. And the trailer is one of the last things. I took a look at it. And
when you clicked the wrong button.
What happened?
I clicked the wrong button.
Oh.
I ended up leaving the channel. Derp.
So looking at this trailer, it looks like the art style is definitely WoW-ish, but there's also some blockiness in there, like from Torchlight. There's some unique stuff in there too, like their dragons are way better looking than WoW's for sure, and it's your standard run-of-the-mill push button MMO as far as I'm concerned. Right.
But
Oh yeah.
the dragon that they have in the cinematic actually kind of looks like Deathwing, especially right down to the,
Yeah.
you know. So
Mhm.
you have that. There's like a torrent. There's a feature of a torrent for a second. There's all these different similarities. It's kind of like, eh.
I'm watching it now, and just the scene of the airship alone, it looks
Oh, the
very
airship was
wowish.
just like, oh yeah, no, like this looks familiar.
And then you
Yeah.
see in the main snippet, it's Sylvanas' tree. Lol, lol, lol. It's Eldrasil.
But yeah, no, like NetEase was Blizzard's ticket into China, and they screwed that up. And it was the most lucrative business partnership that has ever taken place in the gaming industry. And why somebody would want to, like, stir the pot on that one, I have no idea. And that's pretty much it. And Tencent's like, hey, I got an MMO too, if you guys are tired of that. And Crit does bring up a good argument on player saves. Like, where are those saves? Like, NetEase, according to the statements that are put out there, NetEase was not given privy to what's going on with user data. So whatever's lost is not us, it's Blizzard. So there's a pissing contest between these two companies, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out over the next few months.
Yeah, but if they tore down the building, what did they do to the servers?
Oh, they probably office space the ever living hell out of them.
See, that's what I mean. I'm wondering what happened because
Well,
I mean,
like-
freaking, you had people playing WoW in China, like for the amount of time that we've been playing WoW here. So imagine having all of your progress, everything and whatnot, especially the competitive people, doing Race the World first, having all of their progress just being like reduced to rubble
Yeah.
because they demolished the whole center.
I'm wondering. We have a drunk Jalen. Hello, Jalen.
Jalen!
Hi.
How's it going, bro?
I warned them that you're drunk.
It's cold in here.
Figured that the drinking would actually warm me up a bit.
This wouldn't be the
First-
first time if one or all of us have been drinking on a show, so you're fine.
I mean, I'm currently drinking.
I'm
and I
sipping
usually
on
drink
whiskey.
it. Yeah, I
Yay!
usually drink on the shows.
And I'm high on life.
Last week I was taking shots of tequila because of dad jokes, so it is what it is.
My fault. My fault entirely. I'm sorry, but not
I'm
really.
I'm not complaining. It was fun.
This is what happens.
Absolutely. So, you wanted to talk about Tencent, did you?
I mean, the last thing I remember with them was the whole thing with what was it called? Warcraft 3. I
What did they do
believe.
with Warcraft 3.
Oh,
I think they were a part of Warcraft 3, weren't they?
Oh, I have no idea.
we deep dive.
And here
I-
we go, the crux of our show, offering both informed and uninformed opinions on gaming-related topics.
Yes. Well, Crit Chicken works furiously to go figure it all out. I mean, I don't
Chicken
like
is on the
Tencent.
case.
Yeah, I don't like Tencent to begin with, so extra hate on them just makes me happy. But just to be clear, I hate on the company and the executives, not the employees, because
I mean-
employees rarely have any say in how monetization or data retention is handled, privacy is handled, or anything like that. So
That's why we're all being big advocates during the whole OGL with D&D as well. They don't attack the people inside,
Yeah.
don't attack the artists, don't attack
go
anybody.
after the executives; they're
Go
assholes.
after Wizbro. They're the only two you need to go after.
But
Yep.
that's like the issue in the you're drunk Jalen.
Woohoo!
That's the issue when it comes to these massive corporations, though, right? Like where it's like,
Mhm.
where it's the conversation becomes, guys, you don't want to hurt the small guys on the ground level. You don't want to be jerks and hurt them or whatever. But we up at the higher ups or whatever, we're gonna make whatever decisions that we want or whatever. But guys, if you don't want to hurt them, you're going to agree with whatever we say
Yeah.
is going to happen here. And then it gets you into this cycle where you're supposed to feel bad for the people on the ground level. And because you feel bad for the people on the ground level, that means that like you have a level of empathy and you don't go as hard as you should. Because the higher execs are going to do whatever they want. Which you find out later then that these people end up getting laid off, and that like compliance to doing these things doesn't mean anything at all because they were going to lay them off anyways, and you just feel bad.
So I did deep dive a little bit. I tagged Lumi, Nordic, and Imi in the little forum thing that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And you were kind of on the ball with what they were doing with Warcraft. It wasn't Reforged, more so they invested into the movie of Warcraft back in 2015. So,
Is that
yeah,
when that movie came out? When
around
did that movie
yeah,
come out?
at that time I remember it because I was gonna go on a date to see it, and yeah, I got stood up.
Oof.
I'm
what's
so
funny
upset
is-
about that.
What's funny is, for those of us who play the game, the movie is a thing that exists in this timeline.
It's
But
kind
for
of
people-
kind of
but for
equivalent,
people
kind of equivalent
who-
to M. Night Shyamalan's Airbender.
It's a
Stop.
thing that exists
Stop,
in this
please. It
timeline.
hurts. It hurts, please.
But for my friends who have never played Warcraft, they saw the movie and they thought it was a good movie, like for a fantasy movie. And I was like, yes, if you know nothing of the lore, you've never played the original Warcraft, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 2 Ties of Darkness, Warcraft 3, all the expansions for that. Like, if you've never played any of that, never played WoW, then yes, it is a decent fantasy movie. It's fast paced. I would say the story goes way too fast, but for what you're getting for the writing that was put into it, it's okay. It's passable.
But if you're there for the lore, you're going to be
Oh,
drastically
Jesus, don't go.
throwing
dude,
up in your mouth.
Yeah,
and
don't
just
go there for the
swallowing.
lore.
They
Do
should
not
have
do
went
that.
with Arthas, in my opinion. Like,
Ugh, they should just not have made the movie. in my
that,
opinion.
like that's the Darth Vader of the Warcraft universe. Like,
Yes.
imagine if you did all three of those movies, and the ending scene that you did for all three of those movies was the Warcraft 3 cinematic redone,
Oh,
or not the
no.
Warcraft 3, the Wrath of
Installment trilogy on just Arthas and all that going down. That
Oh,
would have
yeah.
been fantastic. But no, we're gonna go and try to do something unique, just like the Lord of the Rings show.
And then when people pick up the game, they're like, "Oh, man, I saw this Arthas character. Who is that? Who is really cool?" And like, "Oh no, we're on the jailer right now. Sorry."
Yeah.
Yeah, we like them. We like being stuck in Shadowlands. Why do we want to go into Dragonflight? Oh wait, here's a giant dragon that looks like Daddy Netherian. Oh,
Daddy
Deathwing.
Netherian.
Daddy
No. No.
Yes,
Furry-
Daddy.
Furries everywhere rejoice.
We
Yeah,
call the dragons scalies. Thank you.
I'm just happy that the Volpura didn't go to the Alliance.
You know,
Oh,
I actually have
whoa.
I can't say their names either. The little fox
The
folks.
Fox Kids.
Yeah,
Volpura, yeah.
Yeah, I decided Warlock is a good fit for that
You
race.
assholes are gonna make me turn my account back on.
No,
So
no,
I'm going
no,
to start
you're not
calling
gonna
those
get panned
things.
in on that.
I'm going to start calling those things Saturday morning. Why? Because they're Fox Kids.
Ba-da-bum-ba-dum-ba.
I'll even
Crit.
do this for myself.
You're rubbing
Just-
off on him.
Well, first I'll do because that was awful, and I'll
F.
even
Yeah, that was definitely a double whammy. I kind of felt that on my cockles and my subcockles.
Yes, Dennis Leary.
Speaking of cocks, the next topic we have is gems. So
Is what?
Gems.
Gems.
On the back of talking about Blizzard and the shenanigans going on with it and regulation and whatnot, there's a class action lawsuit coming against Blizzard for
Yes.
They're just rolling all kinds of nat ones these days.
yeah, that. So class
Sorry, I'm
action-
D&D on the brain. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
It means would like a word with you, sir.
My bad.
I need an adult. They're cube crawling again.
So let's see what happens here. So we've just got finished talking about World of Warcraft. If there was some sort of imbalance with a game item or an effect that was unintended, and Blizzard says, "Oh, we need to fix that," that's not an issue, right? Right, because it's part of the subscription that you pay that everything works as it should. not
Sure.
Yeah,
a
this
big
is for
deal.
Diablo Immortal.
Well, yeah.
Immoral.
But this
Right.
is I'm leading somewhere with it, right?
Yeah,
Or
right.
let's say, like, I think the real difference with this particular one, because this was for an item in Diablo Immortal called Blessing of the Worthy, which was a gem that was included in bundles of up to $100, right? And the effect of this gem was to do damage worth 12% of a player's maximum life at the first and second level upgrades. But the moment you upgraded it to level 3, it changed to damage based on players' current life.
Yeah, which is useless.
Right.
Huge nerf.
Huge nerf, right? So people have paid real money for this, right? You can't get it anywhere else. You can't farm it in game. Like, people have paid money for a guaranteed chance at having this gem. So instead of fixing the third level, what they said was, no, it was intended that it was all supposed to be based on current life. I went and retrofit the level 1 and 2 upgrades to match current life. So instead of doing 12% of your maximum life, which could be ridiculous, you're doing whatever the value of your life is at that particular point. So if you're low on health, your bonus damage is garbage.
So you know what that reminds me of? This reminds me of the stupid meme of the guys getting hung. I think it's from "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" And they're sitting at
Great
the
movie.
gallows, and you have the guy sitting there being like,
First
"Oh, it's your
time.
first time?" Yeah, they've
Not my
never
first
played
time.
WoW, and they've never been a demon hunter, and they've never been nerfed as a demon hunter repeatedly until you're just running around with a nerf bat and a wet noodle as a meme beam.
You can only get kicked in the teeth so much.
It's kind of like being a marksman hunter. Like, it's
Oh.
kind of funny at the start of an expansion, especially like.
No,
back in the
BM
days.
Hunter, you will feel bad for me.
Oh yes, BM Hunter's being absolutely destroyed this expansion.
I mean, I heard they're taking out not to say lingo that's not understood by everyone here, whatever. But I heard they're taking out double tap, and I'm like, yep, that's a bullet. That is a bullet to marksman.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
they were. I heard about that.
Yeah, they actually they're starting memes too. Comes patch or whatever, they have like the tombstones already for the marksman hunters. I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't roll a marksman hunter. I'm a demon hunter. LOL.
Glad it didn't
Nice
come
little
back.
Nerf beam.
I mean, I was tempted because like a certain group of people who are really skilled at the game really wanted me to come back and play the game, but like I feel the need to hold my guns because I feel that my issue comes that like you hear all these controversies and these lawsuits and stuff like that that's going on, that like you understand that these changes that they're making aren't coming from a genuine place of wanting a good experience for the player. It's a reaction to all of the negative feedback that's going on that's been given to them since alpha.
Yeah.
Well, I just wish like Nvidia and what is it, Google and stuff like that would actually allow, Activision to be, finally get sent over to Microsoft or whatever, just to have like
Good
that
Lord, no.
change baton or whatever. Because, if we don't, do that, if we don't pass baton over or whatever, then we're not going to get rid of the BK dude.
Well, I don't like the baton being passed to anybody because the baton being passed over to somebody implies that somebody is in power. And when someone's usually, not to sound crazy or anything like that, but like when the baton is passed to somebody and then that somebody becomes like the main head honcho of everything, we see like, not to jump off subject, whatever, but you see subjects like Wizards of the Coast who have all of the power. Yeah, like when you have all of the power, the people at the top are going to happily corrupt and take over the goodwill that they've built up over a long time with the player base or of whoever. And it sucks because like now we dreamed of these moments where we have the technology to create these amazing moments or whatever, high CGI and stuff like that, and then now that's like kind of being honestly like taken advantage of. And it's so sad to see people that have grown up with these games for a long period of time, like World of Warcraft, being taken advantage of, and obvious issues that should not even be a conversation just continue to be ignored by it just for obvious reasons. I don't know. It blows my mind.
Yeah, that's definitely valid, and especially with the whole controversies with them hiring people like Townsend or whatever, and instead of like just firing her and just like calling it a day because she, said what she said, Bobby Boyd decided to freaking take her and demote her to put her under his wing or something, still working for the company. But on the plus side, they did bring back Chris Metzen. I was like,
I like that they hired the woman who went before I think it was your Congress, and who legitimately said she saw no problem with torture and she thought it was great and got good results. Like, why
yeah,
do you hire somebody like that? Like, why do
Torture.
you
I don't
hire?
see no problem with torture. Yes.
I think that was Fran though, because
Yeah, it's like, why do you hire someone like this? Person has said they love they condone torture, and they think it's a great idea, even though it's been proven to provide very little of anything of value
That's why you're
as far as
supposed.
intelligence goes.
That's why you're supposed to keep your kinks off the political floor.
yeah, I think after she posted, someone posted her like an email that she had company wide, sent out or whatever. I think she deleted her Facebook, or not Facebook, her Twitter account because of the backlash she had.
Well, and her LinkedIn got turfed as well.
It's like
Uh,
good. I'm happy that we're starting to, which like it's kind of like turning into a bit of a slippery slope. But I'm happy that we're learning and we're walking into a generation of people that want a sense of accountability for these terrible things that
Yes.
are being said.
Yes. People call it getting canceled. I call it consequences of your own stupidity.
That's
Because you
absolutely
can
right.
say whatever the fuck you want. You are not free from consequence. And if you suffer consequences for opening your stupid mouth, you deserve whatever comes near you. Like if I were to say something stupid and people came after me and I had to like take a break from social media or just like close all my accounts, I would have to understand that I opened my mouth, said something stupid, and that's the consequence of my actions. Like, fucking people.
Well, just to wrap this up in a pretty little bow here, it's a class action lawsuit headed by, I'm going to try to pronounce his name.
I couldn't say that name either.
It looks like Miglaccio and Rethid Law Firm. So if you have been affected by such things and you would like to join a class action lawsuit against Blizzard for Switch, that would definitely be the law firm to look at. That particular law firm had called out and was thanking the Communication Workers of America for calling
Yes.
their attention to it. And if you've watched any of our previous podcasts when it comes to unionization, there's a keyword for you. They're also responsible for a lot of the unionization going on within, what was it, Blizzard, Raven Studios, and Blizzard Albany?
Yep.
I think is what it was.
Yep. They are, yeah, they have a subgroup called Code for basically people in the gaming industry, and they have been very active in helping a lot of groups around the country in the U.S. getting organized and forming unions. And I'm really proud of them. They've done a lot of good work. So good
Just
on you
don't,
guys.
just don't contact them for mesothelioma. You won't probably get much out of them.
Just remember, kids, corporations are not people. They are not your friends. They are there to
No,
find
they
out how
are
much.
people.
Oh, they
Your
are.
Supreme Court said they're people.
Okay, well, they're people that.
Do we really want to talk about what our Supreme Court says? Really? Do we want to go down that road tonight?
Wait, you don't like slot machines in your basketball game?
What?
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 Vegas.
You're gonna have to
Nani?
give us context on that one. Yeah, Nani. Like you need a Nani sound effect, Amy.
I don't know what that is, so I will give
Hell to the fuck no.
He doesn't speak in weeb.
I do not.
What was it? I think it was 2K that did it. NBA 2K actually had these. It was like their version of like doing loot boxes and microtransactions type stuff or whatever, where essentially it was like they literally put slot machines. Like, I'm not kidding. They literally put slot machines in their game, and the game was rated. I think it was rated T for teen or something like that.
I mean, to be fair, they had slot machines in the original Pokemon games too. So let's not call it what it is.
Yeah,
Do you guys
Wonder
remember?
Trade.
Do you guys remember
Oh, actual
Battlefield
slot machines.
2142?
no.
And they were when EA was like, "Oh, we're going to introduce advertising on all the billboards, and we're going to track how long people's screens are focused on the billboards, and we'll use that for marketing data." And of course, everyone blew up about it, so everyone just started like idling with their screens facing the billboards. It's to fuck with the advertising numbers.
Oh, you want to know how
Fuck you, EA.
So,
Fuck you.
yeah, in that case, let me restructure my phrase. Corporations are not your friends. They are out to make as much money as possible any way they possibly can. Don't get me wrong, there are some ethical companies out there that will take you and your business into consideration before doing whatever it is they decide to do. However, they would much rather stretch the limits of what is and is not legal and define the terms themselves before they have to say they're sorry after the check's been written.
Yep.
We're
It's
sorry.
easier to apologize and beg for forgiveness than ask for permission.
It's
Which
kind
is-
of like with Wizards of the Coast trying to backtrack now.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
their new OGL, it almost looked good. It almost looked good.
Oh,
It
yeah.
almost looked good until they had to put in there, we can terminate your license in so many words. This isn't verbatim.
At any time for any reason.
So if they decide that one day, oh, you got a ticket for jaywalking, you're no longer allowed to use our license. They can, and you can't countersue them or take them to court for it.
So,
Yeah, I got a
over.
one-word response for that.
No.
I think we should
So-
start sticking to Paizo and Pathfinder and all the other alternatives out there that are using.
Oh,
Yes.
Speaking of which, this is not advertised. This is not sponsored, but I am going to throw out a plug. Cobalt Press has a huge humble bundle right now
Oh,
with a
Really?
whole bunch of their books, like 52 books for $30.
if you got a link, drop it in the chat and I'll
I
transfer
say
it over
that
to.
I say that in Twitter. I'm going to get it right now.
Okay, good, because it's almost round table time. Hey, Jalen gets to participate in the round table.
Yay! Yay!
Yeah, I mean, we
Head
talked about a
pats,
lot of stuff
yay.
between like what's going on in Europe. We didn't hit the stuff going on in India, but that's fine, right? That was kind of important. We'll get on that next week. I'll preface it or do it in the pre-show to next week.
Sorry for hijacking everything with the whole like
Well,
as a whole.
No, do not apologize because we
It
love
was
it when you
important.
hijack.
Yes, it's fun.
But yeah, just remember to vote with your wallets. It's really what it comes down to. So let's
It
start with.
sucks that it's there though, like right? Like you have to do that. But
Mhm.
sorry, go ahead.
No worries. You're actually first on the hit list, Jalen. So, what has Jalen
Yes.
been doing, and what is he going to be doing this week? What's going on? I heard hints of subathons and magic avatars and all kinds of things.
Magic avatars.
Yep.
There's no technology behind it. Fucking magic.
It's work fuckery.
We do have a subathon that's coming up starting Monday. Primarily celebrating our transition from PNG tubing to becoming a full-fledged VTuber.
Woo!
Woo!
Which I'm super excited about. I've got a lot of fun little, like, primarily we're going to be looking into community games. So we're going to be playing games like Mario Party, like Golf with Friends, or Gartic Phone. Just things that we can do our best to include as much people as possible. And the end goal, essentially, for me personally, would be like, at 100 gift subs, going out and first off revealing the model itself, and then like revealing the whole rigging technology as well. But more importantly, I would create a your character here piece with like everybody free of charge as much as possible to get them on the piece of shooting stars. So everyone would be like riding shooting stars or like grasping for dear life as the shooting star is shooting across the sky. And part of that too is I kind of want to make that into a shirt as well. I think that'd be really cool. Getting a shirt with everybody's OCs on it. I thought that would be a lot of fun for everybody.
Could you imagine a crit chicken actually holding on for dear life on a star or whatever and be like, the starfall has gone way out of hand?
Yes.
As long as you have the Happy Meal on the star with it, because I think that was adorable, the Thanksgiving one that Jalen did with the Happy
Yeah.
Meal, and Crit had her own separate little table.
Where was she? I
Sitting
think
in
she
the
was.
kitty table
You were at the kitty table
with arms crossed,
Yes.
looking at the unhappy meal like squaw.
and Amy
I
was
was-
sitting in the window.
Yeah, I think I was snooping in through the window, all angry.
No, you're
Hey.
you're the outside looking in. You're like, I want to
Yeah.
partake in this party, but I can't because I'm a barcode.
Your phones and internet service is mine.
Yep. Belongs to me now.
So yeah, you should totally go check Warbringer Jalen out at twitch.tv/Warbringer Jalen. Lots of good stuff to come. Very fun creator. I spend a lot of time there, don't I, Jalen?
Yes,
Yes.
and we love you for it.
Jalen, if you ever have worms, in not physically, but the game's worms.
I was about to say, what the hell?
So worms, Jalen, yeah. They break all
I do have it.
Yay!
You gave it to me, remember?
Yes, I gave you worms.
You gave me like.
I mean,
Sharing is
my.
caring.
No.
Cajun, what's going on with you this week? I know there's hints of early shiny hunting on Monday and potentially jury duty on Tuesday. Tell us what's going on with you.
Well, the original plan was I got called for jury duty, womp womp, and they said it could possibly be Monday, so they told me to call in Friday to find out I have to go. They told me I'm not needed on Monday, but to call back in Monday night to see if I'm needed for Tuesday. So I'm sitting there like, does that mean I have to call every damn day until the week's over? And if that's the case, I might have to go to jury duty instead of work, which sucks for me. But like Lemmy said, because I don't have to do it on Monday, I said if I didn't have to go to jury duty, I was going to do a surprise midday stream, doing some shiny hunting in Pokemon Scarlet. I'm going to be abusing the hell out of resetting for evolutions because I want all those damn little bitches in my party because I've been waiting to catch them for way too long. So that's what we're doing Monday, and then we'll be back Tuesday and Thursday with our normal spin the wheel of destiny to see what we're going to be hunting on those nights.
Did you know Vaporeon in terms of breeding?
Stop. Stop right there,
Whoa.
sir.
What?
Sir. I
Right.
can appreciate being horny in Maine, but no, we're not going there.
Like that person who combined the Lop Bunny and Vaporeon stuff.
Yes,
Like,
they've created the ultimate.
oof.
Anyway, yes. But yeah, we're doing that, and I have some other things working in the near future. I just have to get my art station and programs back up and running on this computer. So yeah, we got things cooking.
Don't think
okay.
I don't see those dots. I feel your judgment right there.
I'm gonna
Awesome.
face palm.
What's going on with the crit code? I figured I'd consider you guys one unit unless you had individual things you wanted to talk about.
I like that.
One
Crit code.
unit.
That is their name from now on. That is their
150 days, 56 days from now, nonsense is being pronounced.
yeah.
She's coming
Yeah.
to visit. Hell
Nonsense.
And I have to go forth and do more adulting. I just finished my taxes this morning at 4:00 in the morning, and then, hey, at least I got it done. That's the last I have to do it for another year.
I can't
LOL.
even do mine yet. I don't have any of my tax
Waiting.
info yet.
Same.
Oh, I need to install a bridge here. Damn it.
And then on the 6th, I have to go for my passport.
Yay.
Yay.
But other than that, not much is going on. I wanted to play a little bit of WoW, but I've been kind of sidetracked with work and falling asleep at weird hours and other stuff, and then bothering the ever-living hell out of Amy. So
It's bothering. No. It's fantastic. There's no way you could possibly bother me, so
yay!
take those words and throw them out the window.
I'm not a beast of burden.
That is correct. It is impossible.
Impossible. Impossible.
All of our socials are below in the About section on my Twitch channel, and I think on the subsequent YouTube video that will be released tomorrow about noon, which is Sunday the 22nd. What's Lumi up to? I picked up pixel art. I'm trying my hand at it, and
It's awesome.
there's a thing that happens on Dankwart's server, the Paintwater Tea House, where they're doing death matches, and I think I'm going to enter the fray on their next topic, which I think was supposed to be magic girls, and I'm all about it. I'm like, okay, let's pixelate some magic girls.
Yep.
So-
That's what I was
He did a
hinting at.
test run on me, which was fantastic.
I
I
did
think-
not see it.
I think Jalen should get in on that too. The death, what is it, death match or whatever?
Yeah.
Because he's been really good with his art and stuff like that. Like his art streams. Like, I mean, if he has time, obviously, I'm not gonna be like throwing him like into the bus and be like, "Yeah, do it right now."
Shush, Jalen.
Well, there's
I'm
a
speaking for you.
There's a delicate balance between being a host as host of a stream and being an artist, and if you're not doing it at the same time, it becomes difficult. So-
We intend on going hard in February. We're going to be doing February themed Valentine's Day art pieces.
Aw,
Aw,
can't see it, but I'm making a heart shape with my hands.
it would be
Aw.
awkward for us.
And I was asking for two animals, and Luminari was literally first said the first two things he said was Chocobo and Behemoth, but then he
Yeah.
followed up with Orca and Elephant. I'm like, what the?
I saw it
Yeah.
on the internet, so it has to be real.
Yeah,
Must be
crit
Rule
chicken.
34, baby.
Crit chicken and a barcode. Have the barcode on the chicken and be like, "You have them printed on me."
It's amazing. I love it.
Love it.
Other than that, we got a Discord server. We have a constant feed of articles all the time. It's about 900 deep, and it's about 5 days old and constantly cycled out. So if you want to see what we're looking at, what we're talking about at any given point, you can get it all in one place. It's on top of interacting with us and other great people like Warbringer Jalen.
As well as memes and art and anything else we find interesting throughout the week.
Catboy shenanigans. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you find that link also in my About section. Please feel free to join. And we'll see you there. Other than that, I think we're good. We need to find a place to raid. I'm going to go ahead and start the music and stop the local recording. Everyone, have a great week this week.
Woo! Thanks for
Jalen.
coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.